Guys, I'm in Plano, Texas, and in this video, I'm going to show you the 6 best ways that you can find subject to deals in your market. Now, a lot of people are out there talking about subject to, and I don't blame them because everybody wants a subject to deal, right? It's a way to get a deal when you can't get bank qualified. So if you want to build a rental portfolio, or you want to go start doing owner finance wraps, but you can't get a loan, how are you going to do it? Or if you've got too many loans and the banks cut you off, you're kind of stuck. You're frozen at a place in time where you can't really build your portfolio anymore. Problem is, there's a bunch of information about how great subject to deals are. You go online, you watch all these videos, and you're like, subject to deals are great. They're so awesome, and you can do so well on, but nobody's telling you how to actually find them. So I'm going to tell you today the 6 best ways to find these types of transactions. Now, if you look behind me right here, we have a new construction site going up. And this construction site here means one thing. If you look at the real estate cycle and the real estate market, we have a buyer's phase 1, buyer's phase 2, seller's phase 1, seller's phase 2. So in Texas, right now, we're in a really hot market, and the new construction has been going on for a couple of years. And right now, if you look where we're at, we're getting ready to get up to the crest. Are we going to level out? I don't know. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. It's hard to tell. Anybody that tells you they know what's going to happen is lying. Nobody knows. Historically, the trend is about 7 to 9 years, the full cycle, if it goes like this, like a wave. But if you look at, we had the crash between 07 and 09, technically we're 10 years out right now. So aren't we behind? So that we're just looking at trends historically, that's how it is, but nobody can guarantee it. And to be honest, it's not slowing down anytime soon. So we're out here on a nice sunny day, we're headed into spring, and I wanted to film this video because you can see right behind me, they're building out a new subdivision. They're in probably the 2nd phase of this subdivision. We're about an hour or a mile from where I live. Now these houses are going from anywhere from $500,000 to $800,000, which means that there's not that many of them in an area. So that the neighborhoods that are directly behind me, over here, and even across the street, are a prime hunting zone for people looking for subject to deals. Now let me explain. These are good spots to go put bandit signs up, neighborhood canvas, direct mail, because if they're going to go try to sell their house and compete against the builder right here behind me, who's building some really nice houses, and even though these houses are really nice, they're old, they're used. Nobody wants to buy a house that somebody's lived in when they can go a few hundred yards over and buy a brand new house, perfectly brand new. No one's ever lived in it. No one's ever been in the showers or, gotten their dirty little lifestyle in there before they got in there, right? So that's what people want. Believe it or not, people pay more for a car or a house that nobody's been in. So put this situation, here's a scenario, right? You go to sell your house. You've been living in it for 4 years now. It's still really good shape, but you've got carpets that have been lived on. You've got a few things wrong where you've got little nicks on the drywall, and you're gonna have to put some work into it to get full market value. But you're never gonna get full market value compared to what a builder can get. So sometimes these homeowners get caught in a spot where they literally just can't sell the house. And if they just bought it a couple years ago, their equity position is very low. They may have paid full market value or above market value when they bought it because it was new and they really wanted it. So what happens if they've got their closing costs and the money that they put into the property over the last few years, and now they're negative equity when they go to sell the house, even if they get full market value, because realtor fees and closing costs on a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 house are not cheap. So they may have to write a $20,000, $30,000 check to get out of that deal, right? Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to write a check when they sell their house. I don't want to, I've had to, and it sucks. Nobody wants to do it. So if you're good at negotiating, you may be able to go and pick up these deals, right? You may be able to go in and explain to the homeowner the situation. I can make you an offer that's gonna let you put a little bit of your equity in your pocket, the little bit that's left. You're not gonna have to write a check at closing. I'm gonna make the payments, and you go through the negotiation of subject to purchase, which we'll get into probably in a later video. So when they're competing against a new builder, they're in a tough spot. So areas right around new construction could be a good spot for you to find a subject to deal. Now, we just talked about this. Here's a 2nd best way to find them. So, like this property here, if they're around here and they're newer, they have low equity. What about a low equity list? Now, who markets to low equity lists? Not that many people. And the reason why is because only a certain type of investor can buy a low equity property. It has to be someone who's going to keep it as a rental property, or someone who's going to own or finance it, because a wholesaler or a rehabber can't do it. There's no equity in the property. So you just cut down the amount of competition going towards those types of deals, because a rehabber and a wholesaler are the two most common types of investors in the marketplace right now, and especially wholesalers. And they need to get a property with a lot of equity in it to be able to make room. Whereas someone that's going to come in and take a property's payments over, they don't need that much equity as long as the property's nice. So you can market to low equity lists, because these people get stuck where there's no equity. They can't sell the house, and they may have to put some repairs in it. They don't have the money to get it up to full market value anyways, so they're stuck, right? And they don't want to write a check at closing, and so you may be able to come in and give them a little bit of their equity and walk away with that property and help that person out. Now, a lot of people are talking about you can't find MLS subject to deals on the MLS, and I'm sitting here watching the YouTube videos of other people saying there's no MLS subject to deals, and I'm like, I don't have any idea what these people are talking about. Some people, I don't know where they get this information, but I'm gonna explain. There's a ton of them on MLS. Have you ever gone into the search range and searched houses that have been on there for maybe 250 days or even a year on the market? Now, if a house is on the market for a year, there's a serious problem. That homeowner is stuck. The reason why is because no retail buyer wants the house. It probably needs some work, but the numbers don't work for a cash investor, because in my market right now, if the house and the numbers work, it's gone day one. In fact, it's got like 20 offers on it. So they're literally in a situation where, what are they gonna do? They may have to let you take over the payments if they want to sell that house. And if you're willing to give them any equity at all and explain to them, I'm gonna go put some money into this house, fix it up, so if you do have to take it back, you're gonna take back a lot better house if their concern is what happens if you don't make the payments. So they may not even be able to have the opportunity to sell that house. It's been sitting there forever. Now what about another type of MLS deal that's kind of the same? What about expired listings? Every day, if you have access to the MLS, these are coming on the market. You can go pick these up or market to them every day. And you're gonna be marketing to them as an investor that's offering to buy their house and give them equity after their house has sat on the market for a year. Now, who are you competing against when you're marketing to expired listings? Mostly agents, real estate agents. They're taught and trained to go after expired listings. Now, if you're a homeowner and you get a call and you're like, yeah, this is a real estate agent and I want to put your house back on the market, you're basically going to be like, what good is that going to do? I just had it up there for a year and it didn't sell. But if you're an investor and you call in and you say, hey, I have a way to buy your house, it's a little bit of a different type of purchase, but you're going to have to work with us on terms, but I can get you some of your equity. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to respond a little bit different to you. So there's a great way on the MLS to pick up houses that have been on the market for a while or expired listings. And yes, you can get subject to deals this way. Now, here's another way. Absentee owners. Now, a lot of people market to absentee owners, and we're looking for a specific type of absentee owner. Now, there's no real way to target this person because there's no way to really find out this information, so it's kind of luck of the draw. But what we're doing is we're looking for absentee owners that are forced landlords, someone who's just a normal person that didn't want to have another property, but for say some reason they inherited a property, and they may not have even the money to travel out of state to come look at that property. They can maybe can't even travel there to see what type of condition it's in. They definitely don't have the money to fix it up. So what happens if they can't sell that house? And you contact them and say, hey, look, I can get that second payment and all those extra costs that's wearing you down and hurting you every month, and I can take that away from you. So you hit on their pain point. They don't want to be making that payment. Sometimes they get so fed up and so exhausted, and the weight of the world is just so much, they just say, take it. Just, I don't even care, just whatever you gotta do, just take it. Please just take this pain away from me. And you say, I think I can do that. You go in and explain to them, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna put some repairs in it, and I'm gonna make your payments, and I'm gonna let you walk with something. So that's a great way to pick up deals as well, but there's really no way to target who's these types of individuals. You're just gonna have to market the absentee owner list for houses anyways, and you may pick up one like this. Now, this is probably the best, most common way, the last way I'm gonna give you to find subject to deals, and that is pre-foreclosure and foreclosure properties. Now let me explain kind of the back, pull the curtain back and show you what's going on behind the scenes. So someone who's going into foreclosure, they usually get in denial. They wanna put it off, people procrastinate by nature, and they get into a situation where they may be 2 or 3 weeks out. If that's the case, they definitely can't sell it to a retail buyer, and they may have not had the money to put it in to get full market value anyways. So say the house needs paint and carpet and a few extra things, it may need $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 of work. they're behind a couple payments. They have extra taxes that they have paid. They can't sell the house, right? And there may not be enough equity in there for a wholesaler or a rehabber to come in and buy it. So what can we do? We can contact them and say, hey, look, I have a solution for you. It's going to avoid you from going through foreclosure, which is an atomic bomb of a credit hit to your financial future. I can actually let you walk with a little bit of equity in your property. I'll start making the payments and catch up all your back taxes and interest, and that's going to start helping your credit. And if for some reason you do have to take the property back, you're going to get a much better property. So their biggest fear is what happens if you don't make the payments. And you simply explain to them, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm in the business to make money. I have a family, I have employees, and the employees have families. I can't come pay all your back taxes and put the repairs in the property and give you some of your equity and all the closing costs. That's tens of thousands of dollars, or that's $10,000 or whatever it's going to be. I can't afford to walk away from that. I would rather make your payment than make the payment on my own house. So I'm definitely not going to not make the payments. But if for say some reason I didn't make the payments, aren't you just going to be back in the same situation you're in right now, except you're taking back a property that I've increased the equity in because I did some repairs to it. So you're going to take back a better property. So in the worst case scenario that I don't make your payments, you're still going to be in a better situation than you're in right now. And then they go, oh. So to them, they're getting some equity that they wouldn't have touched because that bank is going to get foreclosed and they're going to lose all their equity. So they get some of it. They get their credit fixed somewhat because you start making the payments. They get the anxiety and anxious feeling of the world weighing down their shoulders off their back because they don't have to make the payments anymore. The property value is going to increase because you're going to put some repairs into it, make the equity go up. And it's just a really good situation for you to come in and have a little bit of leverage that you normally wouldn't have. So there you go, guys. That's the 6 best ways that you can really go out there and find these properties, to go around new construction, new developments in your area, market in the surrounding subdivisions, to go after low equity lists, to go after expired listings and houses that have been on the market for a very, very long time that aren't selling, to go after houses that are on the absentee owner list that people probably don't want to be carrying multiple payments and don't know what to do and can't fix the property, and they're out of state, they just in a tough spot, they can't figure out what to do. And the last way is just to go after the foreclosure list, which is probably the most commonly taught way to find these deals. So I hope that helps on how to find subject to deals. In the future, we'll get into how to do subject to deals and how to make sure you transfer the insurance and do everything and avoid the due on sale clause, all sorts of different videos we can film on that, because subject to is an interesting topic that a lot of new investors seem to fall into this attraction with real quick when they realize that they can get a free house, is what people are out there saying. Just go get it. You're going to get a free house with no risk because the debt stays in that homeowner's name. But guys, you're dealing with real people here, real life. It's a delicate situation. You don't want to do something that's going to get you in trouble or them in trouble, and it's a lot more difficult than just going and getting the deed and going and filing down the county. There's a lot of disclaimers. There's a lot of paperwork. Our contract is like 30 pages long, and you wouldn't even believe that we get people to sign this thing. But you just want to do it smart. If you're being taught by someone and they're just like, oh no, it's no big deal, just go get it and file it down, you're going to be in trouble most likely sometime in the future. So be careful. Make sure you're doing them right. But if you want to learn how to find them, that's the 6 best ways I know how to teach you. Until the next video, I'll see you when I see you.